So in this session we are going to learn about the difference between photoelectric effect and Compton effect. Initially we will start with some differences between these two phenomena. Finally we will see a summary part of this session because the summary part is going to be very much important. There we will going to understand what exactly happens in case of photoelectric effect and in case of Compton effect. So that firstly we will start with the first point, that is whenever light of suitable frequency falls on a metal surface, then the electrons are going to be emitted from the metal surface. Whereas in case of Compton effect, X-ray photon is going to incident on the carbon element, then the recoiling of electron happens within the same element and some scattered photon is going to be produced. Now here the photon delivers its entire energy to the electron and the photon is going to disappear within the metal. But here in case of Compton effect, photon tries to deliver its entire energy to the electron, but the recoiling of electron happens and some scattered photon is going to be produced with less energy. Why that happens we will see in the summary part. Now here the electrons are going to be emitted from the metal surface. Here the electron is going to recoil within the same element. Here we are confirming the particle nature of light. It also confirms the particle nature of light. Now we are going to exactly see what happens in case of photoelectric effect and what happens in case of Compton effect. That is the summary part. Now you can easily understand in this that initially we are taking a metal surface here and some suitable frequency of light, let's say blue color frequency of light. This frequency of light falls on the metal surface. Then the electrons are going to be ejected from the metal surface. That means we are considering a metal surface. In that metal surface we are having the outermost shell electrons, which are called as free electrons. Now one photon comes and hits the electron inside the metal surface and it delivers its entire energy to the electron so that the electron gains enough energy and it will come out of the metal surface. So this exactly thing happens in case of photoelectric effect. Now for example we are considering the photon energy and the electron. Let's say for example this is a blue color frequency photon and we are having some electron over here. Now the particle, that is photon, strikes this electron. Then what happens exactly? The electrons are going to be emitted from the metal surface. So now we are saying that this energy is sufficient to eject the electron from the metal surface. Now in second case, that is in case of Compton effect, what exactly happens, that we are going to learn now. That is, for example, we are considering a carbon element, that is this is a carbon element. Inside the carbon element, in the outermost shell, let's say, we are having some electrons. Now the photon having very much large energy, that is we have increased the photon size, that is up to this much of size. That means the photon carries very large amount of energy as well as momentum. Now this photon will travel with the velocity of light. That value of that velocity is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Now we are considering that electron in the carbon element, that is of this much of size. That means the photon, you can exactly see that the photon will have very large amount of energy because the size of the photon is very much large. Here the frequency of photon is very much high, that's why the energy of the photon is going to be very much high. So that the electron is a stationary electron over here and this photon is going to travel with the velocity of light. Now it hits this electron, then the electron needs sufficient energy. That is, for example, if we are providing this much of energy, then the electron may have come out of the surface, but here we are providing very large amount of energy. Due to this large amount of energy, the electron is going to recoil within the same element and some scattered photon is going to be produced. So here what exactly happens in case of Compton effect, the particle comes and hits the electron, then the electron is not going to absorb all the energy that is provided by this photon because it needs some minimum amount of energy. That minimum amount of energy, as we have already seen, that if we are providing this much of energy, then the electron may eject it from the metal surface. But here we are not providing very less amount of energy, we are providing very large amount of energy. So due to that fact, we are saying here that the electron is not going to come out of the surface of the element, but it will going to recoil within the same element. That means the scattered photon will have wavelength more, but the energy of the scattered photon is going to be less. So that exactly happens in case of Compton effect. Now I hope that you have understood about the differences between these two phenomena and what exactly happens in case of photoelectric effect and in case of Compton effect. So that is all for today. Thank you.